Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about business writing. What are the do's and don'ts? How we can improve business writing? What are the tips and tricks? There will be some examples as well. So, patience is required during the session. Have you ever sent a super casual text to a friend full of emojis and abbreviations? Of course, you have. Now, just imagine sending that exact same text to, say, a potential employer for a summer job, or to your principal, or even to a company you are complaining to about a broken product. Do you think it's a good idea to send that casual text to all of them? Well, obviously, no. Now, here at this point, something very important has to be done. That is called learning business writing skills. Today, we are going to break down what business writing is, why it's so super important, and how we can start practicing it right now. It's not boring as it sounds, but it's a skill that is going to help you a big time in the future. What is business writing? Think of it this way: business writing is any writing you do in a professional setting. It's about communicating clearly, concisely, and effectively to achieve a specific goal. Unlike your casual text or even your English class essays, business writing has a different purpose. It's not just for people who work in big offices, it's for everyone who interacts in a professional way. For example, when you email your teacher about a missed assignment, here you need to have business writing skills. When a sports team sends out a newsletter to parents, when a charity asks for donations, when a company sends you a bill, all of that is a form of business writing. Now, let's talk about some key characteristics of business writing, the do's and don'ts. Clarity. This is the big one. Business writing needs to be super easy to understand. This is something very important. No confusion, no long paragraphs, no difficult sentences. Get straight to the point. What are the don'ts? Avoid informal language. Don't overuse CC, BCC. Don't send lengthy emails and avoid ambiguity. Instead, what you must do is use a clear subject line, start with a professional greeting, be concise and direct, use proper grammar and spelling, include clear call to action. For example, subsequent to our prior communique, a revised schematic for the initiative's fiscal appropriation has been disseminated for your perusal. Just imagine, do you think was was it an easy one to understand for the person who just received this email? Now let's see what was actually communicating through this message, what we were communicating. We have sent you the updated budget for the project. So instead of using this one line, five difficult lines were written, which is totally an incorrect thing. Try to use simple language. Try to just mention those points which are important instead of writing ambiguous content. Do not use difficult vocabulary. It's not going to communicate your message very clearly. After clarity, the next thing is conciseness. Be brief. Time is money in the professional world. So don't waste anyone's time with unnecessary words. Say what you need to say and just stop then. I am writing to you today at this particular moment in time to inform you of the fact that the meeting has been rescheduled for a future date, specifically next Tuesday, if that is convenient for all parties involved, and I hope it is. A wastage of time. Instead of writing all those big lines, the best thing was to write the meeting has been rescheduled for next Tuesday. That's it. Here we have to realize time is money. Money is not money. You are going to get a lot of money later on in life, but time is not going to come back. Third point is accuracy. Now, facts matter. No opinions, only facts. No myths, nothing. Just facts. Make sure all your information, dates, numbers, and names are correct. Mistakes can lead to big problems. For example, imagine getting an email saying your exam is on Tuesday, the 25th, but it's actually on the 24th. Big oops. Always double check your facts. So, here, when we are mentioning or writing down the facts, we have to cross check them as well. And there is nothing wrong in it. Professional tone. This means being respectful, polite, and neutral. Avoid slang language, emojis, unless specifically appropriate for a very modern internal company culture. Now here you have to keep in mind the culture of the organization. And overly emotional language, please do not try to write down any emotional sentences in the emails or in the reports or whatever you are writing down. Even if you are upset, keep your writing calm and professional. Do's and don'ts, let's see. Now the point is, oh my god, your product totally sucks and I'm so mad. Was this required to mention about your emotions while writing down the email? No, that's again a wastage of time. Instead, I am writing to express my disappointment with the recent purchase and request assistance with the issue. Be polite, be to the point. You don't need to mention your emotions into the email. Nobody would be liking that, and nobody is interested to know about your emotions. Stick with the facts, and trust me, it is going to influence more. Audience awareness, and other very important element. Who are you writing to? Your boss, your customer, a colleague? The way you write will change depending on your audience. You would not write to your principal the same way you would write to a friend, right? We know that you are not going to write a similar email, or you are not going to use the same kind of words that you have just written to your friend. Why is business writing important for you? First impressions are everything. When you apply for a job, an internship, or even a college, your application, your resume, your emails, they are all forms of business writing. They give people their very first impression of you. A well written email shows you are serious, organized, and detail oriented. A poorly written one, not so much. Getting your message across. Whether you are trying to convince your school to start a new club or asking for a letter of recommendation, clear business writing helps you articulate your ideas effectively. If people understand you, they are more likely to help you or agree with you. Obviously, here you have to learn this thing, learn this point, that clarity and conciseness are two very important things. If you will be clear, your audience would be able to understand you, your point of view. And in this way, once they will understand that, then they would agree with you. Otherwise, you'll keep on telling them and they won't understand, they won't agree, and at the eventually you will become frustrated. Building your reputation. When you consistently communicate well, people see you as reliable, intelligent, and professional. This builds trust and opens doors for future opportunities. Think about group projects. Who do you want writing the final report? Someone who writes clearly, right? Obviously. Avoid misunderstandings. So much confusion in life comes from poor communication. Business writing, with its focus on clarity and conciseness, helps minimize misunderstandings, saving you time and headaches. Eventually, if you will be very clear, if you will be concise, if you will use good words, you will not become emotional. It's going to save a lot of your time, and it will be helpful for you to make other people clear what you people are trying to tell them. Now, what are the common types of business writing you will encounter? Now, there are few different types, and let's talk about them one by one. The first business writing genre is emails. This is probably the most common one. From emailing your teachers to applying for a summer job, mastering email etiquette is crucial. So, this is a format of an email. On the top, you will write down the subject line, then dear and the name of the person. If you know that person, you will write down the name. Otherwise, dear sir, dear ma'am, respected sir, respected ma'am. Then you will write down your email, and it should be very to the point. And in the last, you will write down the closing lines, and then sincerely and your name along with all your details. For example, you can write mention your phone number if you have asked for any request or something like that, or if you are writing to the teacher, you can mention your class and your section. Memos. These are short internal communications within an organization. Think of it as an official internal email. Now, memos are sent within an organization. If your principal wants to communicate with the teachers, she's going to send the memos. If she wants to communicate with the students, again, she's going to send memos. Now, this is the format of a memo. Like, it's two on the top, to whom the memo is going to be sent. Then from, date, subject line is very important. For example, if they are saying to communicate about a new policy to the students, then new subject is new policy. Cell phone used during school hours. Now, it has to be very brief. No irrelevant details will be included in the memos, because it's something formal. Reports. Probably you have received your reports from the school, from the doctor, or from any other organization. So they are actually, they give you the information related to that particular topic. These present information and often analysis. Could be a short progress report for a club project, or a more formal research report. Now, it's the format of a report. On the top, you will write down the topic. Then below that, you have to mention the date, and then you will talk about all the relevant information. Once again, here you are not supposed to write down any opinions. You're not supposed to write down irrelevant details. You have to focus on the facts and the relevant information. Letters. Probably you people have written letters in your life. Sometimes you might write an informal letter, sometimes you write a formal letter. When you are writing it to your friends and family, you write an informal letter. But when you write it to some senior people or to unknown people, then you write down a formal letter. In both the letters, it is actually necessary that you have to follow a fixed format. More formal than emails. Letters are more formal than emails, often used for external communication like job applications, official complaints, or thank you notes. Resumes and cover letters. Once you apply for any job in a company, you send your resumes along with the cover letters. I will try to share another video on resumes and cover letters, how to make a good resume and a cover letter soon, in my upcoming videos. Super important for jobs and internships. These are your personal marketing documents. Actually, you market yourself through your resume. You mention about your qualification, your name, your addresses, your phone numbers, your emails, then the skills you can offer to the company, your experiences, any development courses that you have done. So if you try to uh, market yourself so that the company should hire you. So these are your personal marketing documents. They need to be perfect examples of clear, concise, and accurate business writing. So just imagine how business writing skills are going to help you in different parts. Um, Either you are emailing somebody, either you want to write a letter, or you want to write the resumes, you want to write a cover letter, meeting agendas and minutes. If you are part of a club or student council, you'll see these agendas outline what will be discussed and minutes summarize what happened. Now, most of the times, what happens if you are sitting in a meeting or in a conference, one person is um, always there whose duty is to write down whatever was discussed in that meeting or in that conference, so that if in the near future somebody wants to refer to those points, they can check those points through that meeting agenda. Now, this is the format of a meeting agenda. You need to mention specifically the date when the event was conducted, time, what was the time, what was the location, who were the people that were attending that session. Now, what were the important points that were discussed, what need to be done, how can be done, what were the problems, etc. etc. Now, some tips for practicing business writing. Proofread everything, very important. Once you write down anything or type anything, you have to do a proofreading. You can take help from somebody else as well, because sometimes you overlook a few mistakes. So you can take help from somebody to read it once, so that mistakes could be identified, especially regarding spelling, grammar, and clarity. Think before you write. Before you even type a word, ask yourself, what's my purpose for writing this? Who is my audience? What do I want them to do or understand after reading this? So, here you have to be very clear. If you're writing it to your principal, obviously you will be very to the point. If you are writing to the teacher, probably you can add some details. If you are writing it to your friend, obviously, once again, the usage of words will be totally different. Keep it simple. We are not trying to show off how much we know. We are not trying to show off about our vocabulary or the use of punctuations or the paragraphing. We are just trying to communicate something very important to the people who have time constraint limits. So please remember, try to be very clear, use simple language, avoid big paragraphs, big lines. Short sentences are often better than long complicated ones. Use proper formatting for emails, use clear subject lines for reports, use headings and bullet points to break up text. Good formatting makes your writing easier to read. Bullets are always preferable because it helps to identify the important points. Subject is the mandatory thing. Without subject, do not start anything, because your subject clearly gives the idea of the topic. Practice, practice, practice. Email your teachers professionally, write a letter to your principal suggesting an idea, draft a short report for a school project, help organize notes for a club meeting. All these are the topics that you can also practice to improve your business writing skills. The only thing that has to be done is practice. So once you will practice, you will learn these skills and they will definitely help you in your future life. Business writing is not something very super complex secret code. It's simply clear, concise, accurate, and professional communication used in professional settings. It's a skill that will empower you in your schools, colleges, even your universities, or in your professional lives. Remember, every email you send, every report you write is an opportunity to showcase your professionalism. So take everything very seriously and do implement all these tips and tricks. Start practicing now, and you will be ahead of the game. I hope this was a helpful session for all of you. If you liked the video, please click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.